right, it is 7:01 PM on Tuesday, October 5th, 2021. We're going to open the Committee of Committees meeting. We take roll call, please.
Yep, I have committee members, Chris Samples,
Here.
John Talbot,
Here.
William Luxinger,
Here.
Nathan Maas,
Here.
Jen Christensen,
Here.
Bill Motisi,
Here.
President Rick Worm,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onabini,
Here.
I Clerk Sandy Mazem here, Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie,
Here.
and Engineer Matt Hansen.
Here. Before we get on to the minutes, we do have, we started having some technical difficulties. My computer kind of died last week. We did have it we had it fixed point, but I still can't do the casting and stuff yet. Brenda's trying to get the agenda up on the screen for us.
It has both of them. It has both of them. When I clicked off of East.
But otherwise,
I
we'll
got rid
move
of
forward
the
with this
last
agenda, so we will consider, we're still under COVID or self-imposed COVID rules. So we do have to roll call at every vote. We'll take a motion for the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve September 7th, 2021 Committee of Committee meeting minutes. Second.
Don makes a motion to approve the September 7th, 2021 Committee of Committee meeting minutes. Nathan seconds. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Roll call, please.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William.
Yes.
Giddy up. Motion passes 702. Reports to the officers. I have nothing this evening.
Thank you, sir.
Sandy?
The only thing I have to say is listening to the video from last week and the week before. I'm asking everybody again, please speak into your microphones. I've turned some of you up on the volume as much as I can go on this computer. So now it's up to you guys to project your voices and speak closer to your microphone for samples.
I'm sorry,
you.
the mask muffles the voice.
Can you please just pull your microphone
Muffles the
closer to
face,
you?
too.
Thank you. That would be great.
All right.
Second thing I do for last week's meeting, with the self-imposed COVID rules, we cannot attend remotely due to COVID. We have to attend remotely for the original reasons that we have specified.
Say that again?
We cannot attend remotely to a meeting due to COVID.
So
It's not the state of emergency done by the governor, so we have to attend remotely due to work or illness or.
So the COVID rules that we imply at the top of our agenda are for if the majority of the quorum cannot be present. So every time I have a quorum here, I can't have anybody call in for COVID. They have to call in for one of the rules that were, one of the exemptions for remote attendance that were allowable by our ordinances.
And that can't constitute a quorum. That's what you,
And so if we don't have a quorum here, then we can attend remotely.
oh,
But since I have a quorum here, you can't attend due to COVID, you have to attend.
You're
due to-
saying I should attend remotely? What,
majority
if I, hold
quorum
on, I
is
just want to clarify, if I, chose not to come because I didn't want to either catch COVID or spread around, the
Yes.
chances are,
Yep.
whatever, maybe I have a fever, who knows, whatever.
and you're sick.
Yeah,
And
then
the
you're
illness.
sick.
Oh, well,
You
there
can't
you go.
always say it's COVID just because you don't feel good.
Why not?
Well, it doesn't matter.
How do I know? How
Okay,
do I know?
You're getting into the weeds there. Really, you just.
It's all right, I don't care.
The
All right.
exemption is
I just wanted to
needed.
clarify that because it was something that came up and we want to make sure that we were following the rules.
Are you flush?
You know, I'm a little warm.
Not at this time.
All
I should
right,
attend.
Brenda?
Ooh, hold on.
Nothing at
I
this
did
time.
wear a coat in.
I did have one more thing.
feel
Just in
warm.
case you guys thought I was here again, I'm gone next week. I will be at the Municipal Clerks of Illinois Conference. And so Brenda will be here, holding down the fort because I hear she did awesome the last 2 weeks.
She did.
Fine.
All right. I have nothing though.
All right,
Hmm.
Matt?
All right, just two things to report for tonight. Water tower painting project, we did the 1 year inspection, everything looks good, so we'll be processing
Bless you.
that.
Thank
Charging the final payment,
I already have paperwork.
okay? And I don't know, did Mike send you
Oh,
a link? for
Thank
the-
you.
to
Can
the email?
can you not talk about that for a moment and I'll
Sure.
talk about it?
Okay. that's
Thank
fine.
you. And then you can follow up with anything I'm missing. I did forget about that. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. And then the other one was just the Benny's Corner Market self-storage. We did get a revised cost estimate for the letter of security and stuff, which was approved and everything, so that looks good now.
Yes, I sent you an email before you came. It might have
Yep,
been late.
And I just put that out for a team. I just wanted to go over that with you after the
Perfect.
meeting and stuff. I went through your new ordinance and there's some certifications that are on there that I think need to be on there, but they don't show up in your ordinance
Okay.
anymore. I'm not sure why, but
Okay, we can talk after the meeting.
okay.
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback on that so that we can jointly talk about this. So, Mike from Willett Hoffman, who assisted us with the water tank project or the water tower project and the painting, submitted our water tower for it's a People's Choice Award
Yeah,
from, how do you?
it's through Tnemec. It's the paint.
Which is the
that
paint
we-
company. And so he sent it on and it's based upon voting. And so I will forward it to all of you guys. I will probably plan on Facebooking it, sending it out to the community. The more videos we get, the better off we are. When I looked yesterday, we were in 5th place,
Yep.
even though I'm sure Willett Hoffman assisted with most of that.
We're
but-
voting early and voting often.
Yeah,
Just
and
like Chicago.
What's the price?
You end up, you know what, I actually don't know what
I don't know.
the,
feel good price.
I do know that they put out a very, Tnemec does put out a very nice
It's the calendar.
calendar, and
Ooh,
you are on the top now. I don't know.
I
if
always
you-
wanted to be in a.
The-
We actually, unfortunately, we haven't had one that finished first, but I'll find out if there is some sort of award for first.
yeah, it does say the top 11 votes will be featured in the calendar.
Yes, that's where you go.
We have 12 months.
Picture of what? Staff or the tower?
The tower.
Oh,
Sounds good. I wouldn't put too much effort. Sounds good. I wouldn't put too much effort into it.
I'm going to.
Can we choose a month?
No.
Like a month.
I would too.
I think in the photo that, I don't know where,
April Fools.
I don't know where Mike got that photo, but it is a wonderful photo of our tower.
April it is. What do you think, Bill? April?
Anyway, so I do plan on doing some social media advertising for that too. So we can get some votes.
That's all I have.
All right. On the committees. Ben?
I'm just planning for the Halloween drive-through that's gonna take place on the 16th from 3 to 5 PM at the fire station.
No?
Yes,
William?
Anything I have is listed under other committee or old business.
All right, Bill?
I can only send, I can't receive anything, so I have nothing new.
John?
Nate and I will be meeting with Fairgram, hopefully at the end of this week, and then we'll have those, have some numbers next week on the preliminary stages of the park. Had a little vandalism in the park, about $40 worth of damage. I guess Sandy's looked at the video, so I don't know what we want to do about that other than just not worry about it, I guess. And then Nate will keep his eye out for those people returning to the park. Because I guess they were on camera and
I do
must have known they were on camera.
I do have very good photos of all 3 of the children that were involved in the vandalism.
Children or teenagers?
I would say middle schoolers.
what did they do?
They took the soccer flags off the field and destroyed them into mini chopped up pieces in front of the well building. So we're missing 4 flags, and they also destroyed the flags too.
Other than that,
John, in your meeting with Nate and Fairgram, can you put some leverage on Fairgram? I'm hard pressed to believe that there are no grants or anything available for pond repair that we could not apply for.
I'll certainly, we can certainly bring it up.
Call to the grant they already. What was that grant? That we applied
For
for?
land.
That's for land or improvements in the park?
Well,
Osland.
primarily be the Osland would be. for-
Purchasing land.
Oh, I thought it was for improvements too.
Well,
I think
having land for the
I think
park
we-
would be,
They haven't changed the program, guys, like you can't do improvements.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
but the land was the biggest
Yep.
thing that we were looking for out of that.
I find it hard pressed that we could not find any grant out there that we could apply for. Whether we get it or not is another story, but
Yes, because just briefly, I did look at the numbers. We're certainly going to need some assistance. So that's all I have.
All right, Chris?
Before Fergie goes on, well, never mind. Go ahead, Fergie.
I guess this kind of goes to William
Yeah,
as well, so.
I kind of thought this was gonna fall under myself, but, so a few weeks back, maybe a month ago, we had a storm come through and part of a tree fell down on a resident's home. We settled a resolution with that property owner to pay for damage on the home. If you guys don't recall, we were on the hook for that due because it was a right-of-way tree. So then I instructed Brett to have the right-of-way surveyed. And he had the right-of-way surveyed on Junction Road from the railroad tracks north to Lincoln. Is that correct?
272.
To 72.
Correct.
Then we eyeballed it moving farther north.
Yes.
But the survey revealed that there are a number of extremely mature trees in the ballpark of 6 to 8.
We had priced 8 of them, yes.
8 of them, okay. And then a number of shrubs and everything else that are in the right of way. And I think more than half of them are right up or leaning up against structures. So the question that I posed was, we already paid out one settlement. And then that tree is dead or dying, is my understanding. And then there's a number of other ones that are not far behind it. And then there are some that are mature. My concern was from the finance side or liability side, if we lose more trees or more significant storms and they fall on these homes and these residents are in the homes and or cause bodily harm or injury, what kind of liability do we have then? So from our fiduciary standpoint, I inquired on removing the trees. So Brett has some quotes in here. And then I contacted David and I'm waiting on his legal opinion. They're researching currently if we could get the homeowners to waive the rights to liability as long as they remain.
How much is the cost for the tree?
The lowest is 5,100, right?
Lowest is 5,000.
Oh,
You're gonna
It's
spend
it's
1,000.
5,000, remove the 8 trees, but the downside of that is you're removing the entire parkway. You're taking away the canopy over the road and everything else. And we're talking 40-year-old trees.
Why are
We're
there
also talking
ours?
That damage could have been far more significant than it was.
They're ours because they're in the right of way.
Even
which is
if they
different
planted
than an
them?
Easement, yes.
Well, who knows who planted them 40?
Well, that's what
years ago?
I'm just saying, considering
That's why
that,
we don't
Doesn't
want them
matter.
right away.
I mean, you're
I
gonna
could've
spend
planted
$1,000.
Here's the-
opinion. Just take the trees out.
We can eliminate the conversation of who planted them,
Mm-hmm.
who owns them. We can eliminate all that conversation. Doesn't matter. We're on the hook for them. Doesn't matter who planted them, how long they've been there, whatever else. They're in the right of way. We own them. It's our liability. So if they fall on another home, again, we're still on that hook for it. Now, if it does cause great bodily harm, and David did confirm this, we do have tort immunity with that. However, it does come into play. We will have tort immunity, but at what expense do we have to enforce that legally to get our lawyers to go to court and apply, there's a cost factor here.
And at this point right now, just due to the fact talking about this in the meeting, we all have previous knowledge. These things are old and leaning against structures.
Yes.
So.
No doubt the one has to come
We'd
out.
be better off spending $5,100.
Yeah, it'd be
to
cheaper in the
So
long run, just.
I'm not a fan of taking all the trees out. It's just, there's more than 8, to be honest. There's probably, we're talking 13. to
There's quite a few when you
17
get north, correct?
if we move north on 72. We're talking upwards of over 20 trees that are in the parkway. Now, not all those 20 pose a danger to structures, in my opinion. But there are a handful.
Take care of the handful, the ones that are posing danger to structures or people that would be in those structures. To me, are the ones you want to take care of, get rid of. They're already, especially if they're already impeding on a structure.
I can think of 3 that are right up against Eleanor's property?
1, 2, 3. Actually, if you want to get, I can think of 4 of them right off the bat. The one on the north side, and then there's
So,
actually,
yeah.
If you.
All
you've
3 to
identified-
4 down by
you've
Eleanor.
Identified 8 that you feel would
Yes.
be possible for damage to structures.
No,
Right?
in reality, there's probably 15 that could pose damage to structures. However,
But right now.
in
it's
reality,
like-
so we paid out the last resolution and settlement because it was cheaper to settle that than it would be to litigate or go forward or anything else. That was the whole reason behind that one.
And this would be twice that payment,
No, I thought that was.
4 to
15.
5 times.
4 or 5 times?
Yeah.
Still for
I
8
thought it was
trees.
1,500 we paid out.
It was just shy, just over 1,000,
$1,100.
1,000 and some change.
So
So I'm wondering if this is similar to sidewalks in which our liability is reduced as long as we continue to evaluate the trees accordingly and then remove the ones that do pose dangers when we see them. The joys of having Nate Hill is that he is an arborist. This is what he does. And
That's
so
what we
I
were
feel like-
advised to do is to do an assessment. Now, I don't believe it's similar to sidewalks through my conversations with David. Because whether or not a tree falls on a home, it's still damage to that home.
Yes,
I think the tort immunity really only comes into play when it comes to personal injury and death, maybe.
which is what the issue is with the sidewalks is the tort immunity doesn't come into play if we don't evaluate that. So we
That would
are
be
held
negligence.
we are held liable if we fail to evaluate appropriately. So that's why I said I wondered if it was similar that we need to start evaluating these to help ensure that we are able to use that as a claim.
So have we evaluated in these 8 trees?
We have, other than
Or we're just
contacting
guessing
a
on that?
contractor, one of them is dying, it's dead, that's why it fell,
Right.
okay?
Right, Inside out.
The other ones are, so let me back up. In the right of way that we had surveyed, there are homes within 12 inches of the right of way, and there is a house that has an overhang over the right of way. That's technically over our property. So that just goes to show how old the plot survey is and how old these and changes have come. And
The street was not as wide then.
That's how they did things.
sure, and right, I'm not looking to change any of that. I think my suggestion at this point is we remove the one dead tree this fall, and then we instruct Nate to survey everything else. And we make a plan, course of action by springtime.
And as they.
And put it in the
take
budget
them out
for.
And make
I
sure.
have a
they-
question.
Yeah, and if they do become decaying,
Yeah.
yes, I don't, the question that we do pose then is there are 3 evergreens that are very circumstantial to a structure. That even if one falls, it's probably totaling that house.
Agreed.
Mhm.
I mean, totaling it.
In relatively good shape or crap?
The house or
The house,
No, not the house, the tree.
I think the tree's okay, but again, that's an arborist decision.
Well, the tree, as you look at it, it's the
They all lean.
lower half is not in good condition. Like I said, it gets better as it goes up because those are fairly large
So I'm
trees.
saying,
How about
So,
this?
yes.
If Nate evaluates them and he thinks they should be
Yes.
taken out, then we might as well take them out, just making sure that nobody replants trees in that area.
They
But I don't want to
by
get
the
rid
ordinance.
of, this is by my personal opinion, I don't want to get rid of totally healthy trees.
I would agree.
You know, just for the sake of no liability, if there's little chance that they're actually gonna cause.
Nate's not
damage.
on, right?
No.
All
No,
right, so
No.
this would be my suggestion to the board. And I don't know Nate's schedule. If we could instruct Nate to get out there within the next week and give us a fair, brief assessment on those ones that we marked. And anything that's dying or dead, we put up for a removal. And then anything that's healthy, as long as we don't believe it's gonna pose a risk, we leave it.
Yeah, we should probably evaluate immediately.
That'd be, because I actually have to talk to him about some other trees. So yeah, I can take him over there.
So
We can take a
Is this a
look.
committee? Okay.
Yeah.
Can we put it on the agenda for next week? And hopefully we have do we need a new quote or, so we can approve what is quoted up to that limit and scale it back. if
You
needed.
just want to do a not to exceed then?
Yes,
and the trees on 72 would be ours and not IDOT's? The the state?
No, we don't own 72. I would assume that would be IDOT.
Yeah.
So the ones you're talking about along 72, we wouldn't need to take.
Saying north of 72.
No, these would be at
These are
North
on
north of
Junction.
72.
Junction.
Oh.
Now, keep in mind, this
I
is
thought
gonna
you
be
were-
the exact same argument in Ogle Crossings where the developer planted everything in the parkway.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
Okay.
But those trees are
So-
always off.
Fergie went through and counted, and the developer didn't plant those, the homeowners did. And there are currently 62 trees planted in our right of way.
So if they
in
wrap
Ogle.
around sewers or mains, that's on us.
And if Fergie said the more imminent damage would be lifting of the sidewalks, roadways, those types of
But
things.
did
correct?
we require that in our zoning ordinance?
They
for
are
a
not
park bridge?
allowed to build there. They're not allowed to put anything there. trees,
Because
shrubs,
some zoning or
anything.
some developer agreements say you have to put a yard tree and a parkway tree. but
No,
We don't
this
have
does
that.
not. This says you cannot have anything in the parkway or the right of way. And we've tried to catch them as they put in baby trees. We've sent letters. And we actually sent a letter probably 3 or 4 years ago, letting people know, like, if these trees die or something happens, we're pulling them out. They're not ours.
So you say that our ordinance specifically states that there are no trees allowed in the right of way. Our ordinance
The
states,
plat of subdivision for,
Okay.
Ogle Crossings, plat 1 and 2 state that there is not to be vegetation within.
So therefore,
do we have any, we don't have an ordinance though, or do we?
I
have
would
an
have to
ordinance?
look, but either way, it doesn't matter because it's there.
So we're covered.
So the
in
plats
that.
Trump, sorry, John, the
No,
the
go
plat
ahead.
of subdivision that trumps.
It doesn't
there's a-
really trump if there's no
They work-
language in the
they
other
work hand in
place.
hand,
So,
side by
yeah,
side.
Okay.
so it's one or the other.
Okay, I'm just saying,
Or
there's
both.
no way for an ordinance to say something completely opposite of the plat is
Oh,
what
there
I'm
it
getting
is,
at.
but I don't think ours.
So one of those has to be
Yeah.
the main one then.
So are we good with that course of action with Nate for the week?
Yeah, it's-
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Who can tell them?
I actually had to talk to him about some other trees anyway, so.
what do you want to do about Ogle Crossing? Because they.
Well, before you get too carried away with Ogle Crossing, what's that?
You gave me.
No, agreed. Nate and I've been talking as well, because yes, there will be, not to drag this discussion on if we're not gonna really do anything yet, but there are concerns. There's utility concerns. I've already got a picture of one tree that's starting to move the sidewalk. Because the trees range anything from little tiny things to the one that's actually moving the sidewalk. So ideally, it's not always a good thing. We'll have to deal with leaves in our storm sewer, there's just a lot of things. But talking with Nate too, I know that there is a potential push for Tree City USA. So it's kind of a delicate thing, you kind of, there's a give and take there. Nate and I were gonna kind of evaluate what trees were out there. What would be a good tree to plant in the right of way if the board decided they wanted to plant in the right of way. If you flat out don't want to, then it is what it is.
I enjoy having them there. I think It looks nice.
It does. It looks very nice.
I
It
think
looks
it
very
was
nice.
just I think we gotta unfortunately put that more on Nate to assess those
Yeah.
too. And if we find one that's heaving sidewalks, we gotta address it. And
Didn't we have a heaving sidewalk somewhere else because of trees and Ogle Crossing already? And we didn't do anything?
Well, I don't know about that, John, but anyway, like I said, Nate and I were gonna kind of have a discussion and also meet out there and kind of evaluate what's going on. So
For the record, we maintain all sidewalks that potentially have heaving issues.
yes, so we can, if you want us to look into Ogle Crossing at the same time, well, obviously this takes priority
I would-
over here. Agreed. But if you want us to kind of get involved with the Ogle Crossing, kind of start seeing what's out there and he can say, yes, that's a good one.
I'm not
Because,
gonna step a foot in streets and ditches or.
Oh,
But-
so for that one.
well, no, I'm just
I
saying,
would
since
say
you would,
if when Nate has time when parks are
Yes,
winding
time.
down in the
yeah,
fall.
we're not gonna it's not like we're gonna spend a week out there doing this. I mean, literally, we can wrap it up in part of it.
That's okay.
So,
you're free.
And then we can continue to leave this under Chris.
Okay. But next week is gonna be on the consent agenda for a not to exceed of $5,000 for tree removal.
Okay, Is that-
With what company though? You want the lowest bidder?
right now, well,
Are you comfortable with-
There's only one of $5,000.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean,
It
are you
doesn't, you
comfortable
don't
with
really need, you have to put a.
Yes.
company.
You gotta have a company.
yes. Yeah, so right now, yes, it is the Wolf Brothers Tree Service. The one we've used,
Yeah, It doesn't mean you're gonna get the same price. if
That
you
was
cut
my
down the tree.
concern.
that's going to be, yes, I can't guarantee anything. I have no idea.
I'll
Call
verify.
me during the week and we'll verify by Friday.
Yeah, now the other quote, if you look, the other quote, which was only $350 difference, They kind of have a pick and choose in there. So just so you are aware of that.
I'll double check, William, but we prefer to have a company listed. I don't think it's a requirement.
I thought it was by
I thought it was too.
Open Meetings Act.
I'll double,
When we specify the.
You gotta say who you're giving the money
Right, it's
to.
always who you're giving it to and how much it is.
but we're not stating how much it is. That's why I say,
Well, it's not to exceed.
William, or David was here one time and I think he's confirmed that. So let me double check.
Regardless, Brett, call me during the week and
Will do.
when it's done and we'll determine
Yep.
who we're going with. If we gotta get an updated quote,
Okay.
we'll get it in time.
And I'll talk with Nate tomorrow morning and see if we can set something up.
Blend it.
Glenda, yes. sir.
Glenda,
Will the homeowners be notified before the trees are taken down? I have every tree on my property is in the right of way, no matter which road you're looking at, Specific or Junction/Maple. Will we be notified if you're going to take them down?
Did you want to be?
No, I want to be notified because I don't want them taken down.
That-
Awesome. Another question I have is, what if the trees were planted before the right of way was changed, when the road was skinnier? Like when I was in high school?
Glenda, that road has been 80 feet wide since the incorporation of the
Yeah,
village
the
of
right-of-way
Davis
doesn't
Junction in the
change.
early 1900s.
The right of way size doesn't change.
No, the
The
right of way
road
has
might
been 80
change.
feet there.
I think that's part of the original town.
It is.
So you
It
can
is.
probably go to the original town plat, and see what that right.
It
of way
says
is.
80 feet.
That's where Sandy.
I am quite familiar with that plat
Yeah.
now. For some reason, it's 80 feet from Junction to Lincoln, or on Junction from the railroad tracks to Lincoln, but everywhere else in town is 66 feet.
But Glenda, you don't want to risk one of those trees if they're in bad condition to fall on and damage your house, right?
Mine, the two that would be worrying is the 2 peach trees, which a president of this village gave me permission to plant there. One just needs the dead trimmed out of it.
It's not one of them, is it?
No,
I don't
No.
recall yours,
No.
any of yours being on the list, Glenda.
Okay, well, I didn't know, but I do have one that has some dead stuff in it that
But
due to my health, I haven't been able to cut it out yet.
But still, we're going to, theoretically, we're going to evaluate them each year, and as they become in a dilapidated state or
Yeah, 'cause I
however
don't
you-
want to get in the process of tree trimming. I mean, there's.
Right.
dead and we take 'em out, or-
then we'll take them out. So, I mean, I assume that we'll notify you prior to the homeowner prior to taking them out, but when they become become a danger to the homes, then we would take them out. And as long as we have a qualified person to look at them and they can make that judgment, but I'm sure we'd notify her, right? Fergie?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yes.
I understand that, Chris, because I did have the village take out a huge elm tree out of my front yard. So I do understand it. That was the village's.
Yeah, I don't want to take out healthy trees myself, but if they become a danger, I want to take them down before we have damage or somebody hurt. It could be somebody driving down the road, and if it falls into the road, it'd be a problem, so. But, as long as they're not a danger, I'd prefer to leave them up.
I understand.
It's on HDMI. I was looking to put it on.
All righty.
Do we have anything else for streets?
I don't believe so, no.
And neither do I, so move on to.
I don't either.
all right.
Oh, hold on.
Good to know.
I finally got it. So this is the original plat for the village of Davis Junction. Whoop. And you'll see that it says that road is a total of 80 feet wide for some reason. Everywhere. else
And
is
those
60.
lots are not.
No, so like
Excellent.
Glenda's house is like these first 3 or 4, and the next property takes up a good 8 of them.
What's it show for width?
That was the main, that was
Like they're 23 feet, I believe.
They were thinking mobile. home.
23 and a half
That was the
between
main
yourselves.
business section.
Oh, so it was,
That's where the stores
Yeah,
were. and stuff.
23 and a half.
Yeah, those lots are 23 and a half wide. So anyway, it's just an anomaly that when the original town was done, that this is
Was this Willard Hoffman that did this?
No.
In
It was Willett.
It was.
What year was it? Before 1935.
Yeah. I
No,
think
you're-
We're out.
It was just Willard.
We're in the clear.
That's kind of weird, though. See what it says at the very top?
What?
That of the town of Davis Junction.
Yeah.
That's because we didn't incorporate ourselves until 1975.
Yeah.
Yes.
18. 19.
No.
No, the village of Davis Junction was not a formal
Well,
municipality.
actually, 1977, November.
Oh, thank you.
77.
Yes,
Brenda will know.
Yep,
It was
Brenda's.
founded in 1875.
Yes.
but it didn't become a formal municipality until then.
Why do we have the half then? That's gonna bug me.
What?
Half what?
To 23.5.
I'm assuming because they were.
Wanted a whole
they were
number?
Buildings that were
Engineers
next
like
to
to
each
keep it big.
other.
There were smaller
You get more
buildings
in
back
there,
then.
more plots in there with that.
Yeah, we didn't have McMansions.
And a whole extra one.
Mhm.
It doesn't have a date on it. It did. Okay.
All right.
This is the top.
Oh,
Well,
there. This
so-
is from August, was that 1915? I mean, August 18th, 1915. So,
We're in the clear.
yeah, Will Hoffman.
Yeah. It was
Anyway,
just-
so.
It was
20
just,
years.
it was just Will and Hoff.
It wasn't even Will
Either way.
yet.
That's before Moody was there too. Moody's not even there.
Moving on. Pete.
My parents' house isn't even there.
That TV show.
Nope.
Oh, the mark.
Right, get nothing there.
Nope.
All right,
Oh,
are we
maybe.
done with trees?
Yes.
We done with plats?
Yep.
All right, Nathan.
All right. You got something to talk about with some pricing?
So anyway, I got, well, I'm not sure if we even discussed this. So a few weeks ago, whatever, one of our influent pumps, I'm sure everybody's heard us talk about these. We've had to pull them out and have them rebuilt and everything. You know, it usually costs $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to have them rebuilt. So anyway, we had one, I want to say it was water intrusion or something. So we pulled it, sent it to MVP, like we always do. They tore it apart. And basically the rebuild price with all the hardened impeller, hardened sleeve, all that kind of stuff was $7,875. So we had them pull a history because I guess from what I've been told, pretty much everything has gone to MVP over the years. So had them pull a history just to kind of see, because each pump is numbered. So we knew how many times maybe this pump has been there, because these are all original pumps. And this particular pump, actually, if we had it worked on, it's already been pulled 3 times. The first time it's been pulled was to inspect, pressure check. It was pulled in 2014 to have a ring impeller bearings, everything that we'd be doing now. It was pulled in 18, had impeller bearing seals. This would be the 3rd time it would be rebuilt. This time, obviously, it would be with the hardened impeller, hardened parts and everything. So it lasts a little longer because of the grit that we take in.
So we got 5 years, 4 years, 3 years.
Yes, so we don't know how long it would go, obviously with hardened, but my question then is, I also have prices on new ones. At what point in time do we want to actually start replacing these? You know, if they've been rebuilt 2, 3, 4 times. So I did get replacement pricing as well. And I can basically, so the rebuild was $78.75 through MVP. My cheapest of the 3 was $10,224.60 for a brand new one with the hardened equipment already in it. Because I guess that's the way they spec them now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's already done. So, like I said,
A $2,200 difference?
basically 7,800 to 10,200. Yes. And like I said, this pump is original. This would be the 3rd time it's been rebuilt.
Hardened impeller.
Warranty, we would have I believe it was a 5-year warranty. I can't remember. There is no warranty on what's in there.
Are we really gonna have this conversation?
Like I said, I'm just bringing numbers. So I already know what I want to
You're over
do.
75% new.
Yeah, I already know what I want to do, but I'm just bringing you numbers. So
But the hardened impeller and wear ring
Mhm.
should extend the life of that.
they do. We've already had
Less
3 of them.
incorporation.
This will be the last one, I believe, that has. The other 3 have already been, when we've done the rebuilds, 2 of them for sure, possibly the 3rd, has already had the hardened.
Correct me if I'm wrong, are these the pumps where we have one extra on the shelf? and-
Yes, this is one of them. Yes. So basically, this is right now, we have 4 in the ground. This is kind of like our spare right now. We took that one out, put our spare in. This would come back as our
What are
spare.
the age of the other ones?
They're all, as far as I know, these are all original to the plant.
That's what we're
So-
doing.
They're all the
Should
same age.
we anticipate this being the first of the next three?
I can't give you an answer because
When
they've
one
all
comes
had
out.
hardened parts put in them, but it just depends. I mean,
The hardened parts aren't gonna stop the water infiltration.
no, the water,
See, that was-
exactly. It will help with the grit and the wear and tear. I mean, we could start budgeting every, we may not have an issue with a pump for 3 more years. I may not have a problem. I may have a problem in
Repairs
6
in the budget?
months. What's that?
The repair rebuild was budgeted in the budget?
No, because we don't know when we need to do this. It's when one fails.
well, never
We've, to my knowledge, I don't know, Sandy or Brenda could maybe tell me, we've never budgeted for one of these pumps to be fixed because you don't know when they need to be
And we've
fixed.
never had to budget like we have now,
And our budget has changed drastically.
so.
And
Again, that's one of the reasons we need the sinking fund.
Well,
So-
we do have,
We do,
do have the money, which I will
So
create
yes.
into the sinking fund, but we do have the money for that.
so
You're over 75% of new.
Yeah.
I don't
Basically-
think There's a conversation. I mean, it's $2,400 difference to get a brand new one or rebuild something that's,
yeah, but it's
12 years old.
Money to sit on the shelf.
what's that?
It's.
No, it's as the next one fails, you put a new one in.
exactly. You take this one, you put it in the hole, you take the other one out, you make the decision whether you want to rebuild or purchase
I'm not
again.
disputing, yes, we need to buy new versus rebuild.
Yes.
My question is, not my question, my thought process is it an urgent, do we need to buy it right now?
It's a 10 to 12 week wait. So you wouldn't see this pump for a couple of months.
And if we have a problem,
If you're lucky.
Yes.
Yeah, but I thought we could run with 2.
Yes, it depends on your flow coming into the plant. I mean, obviously that's what, and right now we're okay. But I'm not sure if you're saying wait until the next budget year or what you're thinking, William. I don't know.
Maybe just delay it a little bit to get us through the budget more to see, I mean, because if we're gonna spend 10,000 on an unbudgeted item, that's gonna eat up something.
Well,
else in the
let's,
budget, isn't
we
it?
can always look at it this way, if it's 10, 12 weeks.
We've never budgeted for this ever since I've been dealing with the budget, and I'm not, Brenda and Sandy could tell you more about that because I've only been working with the budget for a
I
few
really
years.
put the numbers in that the
Um,
supervisors tell me to put in, so I'm not.
Like I said, before I was in the
Every
position I'm
Every
in.
single item that they put in that
I
budget.
I do not allow for the budgeting of.
Emergencies is
of
what I've always been
emergency
told.
Expenditures,
You should always have repairs.
which
Yeah,
we have a repair
we
line
do have
item.
repair.
Before,
We-
This
before
is
our
an
budget line items
emergency
were
expenditure.
higher, just in case. We had a lot of just in case before. I mean.
Yeah,
We do have a repairs line item.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
We do, but I never know what's gonna get repaired. So I don't know what to put the money in.
Again, but if we have the money in the budget, that's what it's.
Yes,
I
yes,
shouldn't say that.
yes.
The money was not budgeted for this particular item to be
But there is
done,
repair money.
but there is money available
Yeah.
and our appropriations does have
Yes.
the additional
Yes.
padding in it to
Yes.
cover these emergency expenditures.
I would
Yeah.
suggest,
Yes.
my own opinion,
Mhm.
we proceed with the brand new one, but tighten up a little bit of spending until we get through at least more of the budget year. Make sure we don't.
Literally, if you order it now, you're gonna see it somewhere in the beginning of January, if they can hit that 10 to 12.
If we can hit the 10 to 12 week, depending on
Beginning-
backlog.
Damn
this
near
is the 6
impossible right
months,
now.
so we're at the beginning of our.
Agreed.
point.
Are we
Agreed.
halfway? Okay.
Yep, this is the
Good enough.
beginning, this. is the
Yes,
next month.
and I'll be honest with you, not to,
You're gonna, by the time we get it, we're gonna be.
By the end of the month, we'll be halfway through, yep.
yes, yes.
Yep.
So, yeah.
so this would put us 3 months away from the end of it, so
We'll be right at the beginning of budget talk.
in theory,
Yeah.
in theory.
How about that? When we get the pump, we'll actually be at the beginning of budget talks.
The new pump takes 10
Consent
weeks
agenda.
also,
The new pump is the 10 to 12
Okay.
weeks. The other one we can do in as
You're
little as
correct.
2 weeks.
so I think.
Better than a new plow truck.
Is it a prepay or pay at delivery?
I would have to look at the details on it. I can't remember what that one was pay, right? I'm assuming, I was gonna say, either way, it's still gonna fall. And just not to talk budget or whatever, but we are running about as tight as we possibly,
I'm aware.
trust me, when I say
And you
that.
guys are doing great.
Extremely difficult this year with the way things have been going with
We have
plants
one
and.
real tough year and next year we'll. be-
Yes, so we are learning that we may need to budget for things that we have never normally budgeted for because we've never had to budget for it. So we're learning as we
Tough as
go.
it is, it's a learning.
Or I'm learning as I go anyway with this new budget, so I can't speak for everyone else, but so
Consent agenda?
If Andy
I'm
wants,
fine
yeah,
with that. If
you're
everybody-
okay with that?
Yes.
Nate?
No, yeah, I'm very good. Okay. with that.
Okay.
With the 10,200.
It was $10,224.60. That includes the pump itself, and just so everyone understands, the pump itself, and I apologize for not saying this earlier, is $96.93. The freight is $531.
Worth the warranty alone.
I wish we could go pick it up and save that money, but,
I have no problem rebuilding stuff, but at some
I got
point,
time.
there's a diminishing return.
and that's the biggest thing is, at what point in time do we start? And maybe Matt can even weigh in, because it was going through my head, is at what point should we start? It's already been pulled 3 times. This will be the 4th time.
Having done these,
So
what
You're
is the
seeing a
cost?
trend.
Do they sell the rebuild kit?
we send it in and they rebuild.
Do they sell the parts to rebuild them yourselves?
I have no idea because I didn't know we were capable of, had the
I
equipment to
don't
do
know,
that.
I don't know the stuff behind the pump.
Yeah,
We pump Pumps and
Yeah,
they're not hard, but it's not a submersible. It's not.
right.
Sorry, I didn't
Your
mean.
pumping equipment.
No, it's all good. We can do
Your
it.
pumping
every meeting.
equipment is whether it's on the wastewater side or the water
Mhm.
side, it's gonna have your shortest life to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your well pumps. You've got to
Yep.
be pulling those every 7, 8. 9
7, yep,
years.
we learned that every
Just
7.
Keep that in the back of your mind for the budget year, maybe.
Yes.
put one in. I'm gonna guess we're gonna start buying 3 more in the near future.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Oh, one final thing. It happens to involve money still. I just received, we talked last week, maybe, the upgrade for the harvester to go from the wet to the dry. So since we will be land applying, we will be using the harvester. I just got numbers on that at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So Jason Bose and I have not had a chance to discuss the rebuild. There's 2 options. One is like 11,000, the other's 14,000. So we have not had a chance to look at this, talk about it, to see if we can do any of the work ourselves or if we have to have someone help us with the work. So I just want to let you know the numbers have come in, but haven't had a chance to review them with Jason. So we'll be updating you as we move forward on that.
Anything further?
That's it.
All right, anything under unfinished business? Yes.
Can you make sure you're talking to your mic when you talk super excited about this?
So I got a phone call a while back from LR Communications. They came to the board wanting to do an easement at the well 1 along some part of property. They wanted to put in fiber from Prairie Moon to the base of the tower where they have equipment. Basically, it was going to speed up service for their clients. At the direction of the board, my understanding and everything else, we basically just kind of said, what are you going to offer? And they said nothing. Then they said, we'll give you $5. And then I pretty much kind of sent a stern little email and left it at that. They finally reached out and I talked to Aaron, I think his name is Aaron, and we had a decent conversation finally. He is proposing that they will directional bore from the base of the tower under the railroad tracks to 72 for the maintenance building. I got to clarify that. And put in a fiber and give us a fiber. Basically, it will connect our well to our maintenance building, which we in turn can get back to our village hall. And I believe that will put all of our equipment on fiber at that point, is my understanding.
Yes.
Through additional conversations, we determined that LR has, I will use the term significant number of equipment and structures throughout village property and in village buildings that do not have lease agreements, tenant agreements, or access agreements. So they basically have property on our property, and some of our property is on their property, and there's no agreements in place about anything. So we don't know who owns what. I mean, unofficially we do, and you can trace back to minutes, half of the equipment, but there's nothing in writing and there's no agreements in place. So I told him I would bring this back to the board and let him know what their proposal was about the fiber. And I told him flat out, I said, I'm not involved in the fiber in the village. I don't know the network of the village. I said, I'll pitch it out there. Sandy's been doing most of the legwork behind knowing the fiber and the lines that run through the village through a former employee in exchange for their right to bore from Prairie Moon to the base of the tower. Now, he emailed me today and offered up a couple of other tweaks. They would remove some equipment from the maintenance building. They would remove some equipment from the well house and put it in other places. That's kind of here nor there at the moment. The directional boring and the lease under the railroad would be at their expense, not ours. We would not incur any cost for that portion of it. So my question is, and Sandy's gonna have to give more details here. Do we want to proceed in this conversation and negotiate? But I told him, I said, I have to find out, basically, is this a need for the village? Is it a viable resource for us? And is it something that we would utilize?
Can I start?
You're up.
Can I start by asking, why would they not give us a fiber coming off of Prairie Moon?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you mentioned two things. He's proposing directional boring of fiber under the railroad to connect to 72.
Yes.
But he's also proposing this in exchange for the original easement that he asked for a fiber. He's going to connect to what is currently
So
Verizon's
if I
fiber
recall,
off of
yeah,
72.
he doesn't own
or
the
off of Prairie
fiber
Moon.
from the front of the well down Prairie Moon.
He does not.
He does not.
But-
He's leasing it from Verizon, if I recall.
Then why
So
can't we
he only
have?
owns one,
So we could lease it.
He's only taking one of their fiber lines.
my understanding.
Okay, that would explain why he needs to do the directional boring, because he would need a second line
would
to
be a
give
loop.
us. Hmm?
No,
Directional
he's
boring,
leasing,
probably
he's
gonna run more
leasing
than one
Verizon
strand of
on
fiber.
Prairie Moon. He needs to get off of Prairie Moon to the well tower
Yes,
for him to access his equipment on the tower
Yeah.
for his customers. That's his one line. He will in turn bore us going north under the tracks to connect our network for our black line, or our dark
and who's
fiber.
gonna pay that yearly maintenance fee to the
He said they would.
railroad?
Because I believe when they bore north, they might be putting in 5 or 6 fibers and they're gonna utilize 1, 2, I'm assuming. I
And
don't-
then are they connecting to 72 on our dark fiber or on iFiber?
You're asking something I have no idea.
Okay,
They wouldn't do it just for us. There's more to it.
I suspect that they're
Well,
gonna be
if
coming
they're pulling
over
off,
onto
they're pulling off
72.
72, they're probably gonna make their tap there, pull more than one fiber.
If
More
he's
than
gonna,
one
if they're
strand.
gonna go north from the well tower to 72 and connect it themselves, they
Right.
don't need to go from our
Exactly.
tower south to Prairie Moon.
That's kind of where I was thinking too.
So-
So I was thinking it's in lieu of, not,
Doesn't sound like it's a much of a deal for us.
Well, you get fiber optics.
If we
to
can get
the-
a fiber line,
water
it
tower.
would reduce.
So if I'm not mistaken, there's a tower, and John, you'll probably remember this, and Sandy and Brenda. And Rick, we spent, I don't know how many times researching, we were putting up 3 towers, if I recall.
Yeah.
One at the maintenance, one at the wastewater treatment plant, and we we're gonna do like one at the park or something. We're gonna do that triangular thing to keep
we're gonna do a.
Do the
VPN
village.
We're gonna do a VPN for the village.
but the eye to eye point from the maintenance building to the wastewater treatment plant couldn't reach.
Line
It
of
was
sight.
line of sight.
Yeah.
Certain times
Too
of
many
year,
trees.
certain times of a year.
So we were supposed to get like a real tall tower, and I think they even dropped it off, or I remember that conversation. But
There's one out at
basically, maintenance
wastewater,
building to the well building is the last point that's
reliant
point
upon.
to point, eye to
Yes.
eye, or whatever it's called.
Everything else has been
Line
moved
of
to a
sight.
fiber underground. Everything is. that
It
is
would
now less line of
eliminate the
sight.
dialer at the water tower, maybe. It was supposed to, if we got a fiber, it would eliminate outage, or is it worth looking into more, is basically the overall question.
That's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fiber's way better. I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Are they going to give us a dedicated fiber line?
Ah, you're asking me things I don't know. I'm lucky I got this much out in clarity.
Okay, I just asked that you remember dedicated fiber line.
You're gonna be, I'm gonna just bring you.
Why don't you just call them, Sam?
They don't like me.
They need to start like.
So basically,
Well, you
I will
listen
call
questions
them and
and-
have them meet on site and you can come out and we will all talk and I will mediate.
Okay. We just don't speak the same
Get a
language.
fly swatter.
I don't speak any of the language.
Yeah, no, we don't speak the same language. I've attempted.
Well, they speak technical.
Like,
That's it.
And not the. Bring it down for us. But don't follow that.
I talked to the language.
Um,
Brian.
this, okay, but
Brian.
it may require technical support on the village's side, i.e. maybe bringing an old employee at his contractor rate for an hour.
Which is fine. I use them all the time and we just pay him we pay him.
Sounds good.
Yes, it's
I think
because
that's
I
kind of
lost
what
the
would have to
connection.
happen in order to get an understanding.
Yeah, that.
Yes, no, I
Yeah.
do contract with that employee quite often because he's
Perfect.
familiar with our equipment. And actually, he helped us finish setting up the fiber out at wastewater treatment plant because they only drag the fiber in. It's our responsibility to do the connection. And so he did it out at wastewater and here.
All right, anything further on unfinished business? Public,
This question is for Willard Hoffman. Will the public be able to vote on the water tower contest?
Yes. I think hopefully Sandy will get something out to the public.
Yep, nope, you'll see it on our Facebook page in the next couple days, Glenda.
Wonderful, thank you.
anything further from the board members?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
That makes a motion to adjourn,
Phone
Nathan
that night, you
seconds.
lost your phone, where
Roll
was
call, please.
Bill,
Yes, I can only send, I still can't receive.
all right, I'll look into that. John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Jen.
Yes.
Motion passes. We are adjourned at